Hello and many thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I am Ifoma Ojinta. An interfaith manual and fraud risk assessment project has been launched by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. It is to complement existing efforts in fighting corruption in ministries, departments and agencies. Vice President Kashim Shettima at the launch reminded the anti-graft agency of its responsibilities of not just fighting corruption with lip service, but to be practical in its approach. Details of this report will be brought to you subsequently. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has reassured people of the Niger Delta that completion of the East-West Road is of priority to the present administration in view of its economic importance. While hosting the acting president of the Supreme Council of Ogoni Traditional Rulers, Senator Akpabio notes that completion of the road will boost economic activities in the region and Nigeria, adding that government is open to explore all options to achieve results. He appealed for sustenance of the prevailing peace in Ogoniland.
I want to implore you to continue to plead with the youths, to cooperate with any company that comes there to add value, because it's not federal government that will pass on the road there. We are the ones who pass. It affects the economic life of the place. You have almost 50 industries around there, from the petrochemical all the way down to the depot, and of course the ports, the One port and all that, and the free trade zone authority. So the wear and tear on the road is amazing, and it's something that must be done and done well.
Let me sincerely thank you previously for the work you've done for us on the East-West Road. I remember very well that it was from the meeting we had with you severally that resulted to the beginning of the East-West Road, which resulted to what the Minister of Work is doing today.
The monarch expressed gratitude to Senator Akpabio and the federal government for giving his people a sense of belonging. Every aspect of the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project, HYPREP, targeted at improving the lives and livelihood of people of Ogoniland, is being accorded utmost priority. Ministers of Environment and his Niger Delta development counterparts at a high-level meeting in Abuja on remediation of the oil-rich state promised to work round the clock to eliminate every impediment slowing down the project. Charles Afa reports.
The meeting is the 8th of the Governing Council of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, with the Ministers of Environment and that of the Ministry of Niger Delta, Abubakar Momo, involved. Briefing journalists after the meeting, Balarabe Abbas said the council delved into a number of issues, some of which were the efforts being made to address the challenges confronting a robust implementation of HYPREP.
HYPREP is a project and have a lifespan which will be completed within a certain time. They've been there for the last 5 years. We've been trying to get things done, and we have a lot of issues that we've been trying to address. What they need is that they need to give us the cooperation to do it for them, because that project is for them.
Minister of Niger Delta, Abubakar Momo, believes such meeting with him involved and the Minister of Environment present for the first time demonstrates the desire and commitment of both ministries to HYPREP.
For me, as a Minister of Niger Delta, I have a very hard stake in HYPREP, because the cleaning up of Ogoni land will be to my satisfaction, because the people of Ogoni will be at peace and the region will be at peace.
The federal government of Nigeria and United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, announced an end to a 5-year technical assistance in December of 2023 with the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project. But the Niger Delta minister said the end of that formal engagement has not created any vacuum. The Hydrocarbon Pollution and Remediation Project has since been handed to the leadership of the Federal Ministry of Environment. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Oyo State's Governor Seyi Makinde has pledged his support to the push towards regional legislative integration aimed at creating policy cohesion, security and good governance. The governor said this when he received the Conference of Speakers of State Legislators Southwest. Correspondent Ayomiku Ajibola has the details.
7 members of the Conference of Speakers of State Legislature Southwest, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde maintained that there is need for collaboration and cooperation between the executive arm of government and the legislature to enhance the delivery of dividends of democracy and bring development to the people of the region. Speaking on the recent security challenges in the country, particularly the Southwest, the governor maintained that the establishment of state police is an idea which time has come, and that the fear in some quarters that the state could not be able to maintain state police are unfounded.
Give us that responsibility first, and let us see if certain states will be able to or not able to maintain it.
We felt on our own that it is also time for us to discuss with our leaders, our governors, that there is the need again to strengthen the security architecture in the Southwest.
The chairman equally proposed to host a regional legislative summit for lawmakers in Ibadan, being the political headquarters of the region, to equip lawmakers with requisite legislative skills for the task ahead. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
The Supreme Court has upheld the declaration and return of Amadou Fintiri as governor of Adamawa State. The 5-man panel of justices, led by Justice John Inyangokoro, gave the order in a unanimous decision in an appeal filed by the candidate of the APC, Aisha Binani Dahiru, in the March 18, 2023 governorship election. The Apex Court dismissed the appeal of the All Progressives Congress and its governorship candidate in Adamawa State, Aisha Binani Dahiru, for lacking in merit. The Supreme Court also condemned in strong terms the conduct of the former resident electoral commissioner in Adamawa State, Hudu Ari, who earlier declared Aisha Binani Dahiru as winner of the election. The Apex Court described the action of Hudu Ari as irresponsible and criminal. The Supreme Court noted that the exclusive power to announce election results lies with the returning officer and not with the resident electoral commissioner. Now, the 10 aspirants of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the forthcoming Edo State governorship election have been cleared by the Governor Charles Caleb Mufwang-led screening committee. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that they were assured of the party's readiness to conduct a free, fair and transparent primary election.
11 aspirants purchased the expression of interest form for the September governorship election in Edo State. 10 of them went ahead to purchase the nomination forms, qualifying them to face the party screening committee, headed by Governor Caleb Mufwang of Plateau State. The Edo State Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu, flanked by other aspirants, commended the PDP National Working Committee and the screening committee for a transparent process, as they all agreed to work together in the interest of the party.
I want to also pledge that we will abide by all rules as far as it's transparent, and by the grace of God, we are PDP and we are PDP.
We are preaching, let us start to build the party through faithful party members. If you don't have party members, you will never build the party.
8 out of the 10 aspirants were on hand to receive their clearance certificates from the PDP National Organizing Secretary, Umar Bature. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
A ray of hope for inmates of correctional facilities across the country as the federal government rolls out plans to commence skills acquisition that will guarantee at least 2 acquisitions for each inmate before they finish their term. The Minister of State, Youth, Ayodele Olawande, said this when he visited the Kuje Correctional Facility, accompanied by the Senior Special Advisor to the President on Technical, Vocational and Entrepreneurship Education, Abiola Arogundade. The visit enabled the team the opportunity to interact with inmates in order for them to come up with empowerment programs that will prepare them for a better life and reintegration into the society after finishing their term.
The technical assistant to the president, she's here too. We're working in collaboration together to make sure that even people inside here will have minimum of 2 skills and they can be able to be productive.
We're actually looking at different skills, all the skills, and we found some people with, inside who are actually interested in leather, some in sewing, in designing. We're going to do an audit where we come into the correctional facility and find out what skills they're interested in, and then we're going to train them directly on the skills they're interested in. Not only will we train them, we'll also give them entrepreneurship training and SME training so they'll be able to match and manage their business. We'll also give them a grant to set up their business so they will not become second-time offenders.
We also make sure that whenever they come to the end of their sentences, we have them properly reintegrated into the society.
Residents of Ondo State are in for a good time with the rehabilitation of some major roads and construction of new ones being prioritized by the state's government. Tony Batiri reports that the state government promises its commitment to enhancing infrastructure for the benefits of the people.
Good road network, no doubt, is the economic backbone of any nation as it integrates and connects various sectors, regions, and communities together. Consequently, the Ayedatiwa administration since inception is intensifying efforts and putting resources together to prioritize road infrastructure development across the state.
This project was kick-started by the late governor, Arakunle Oluwarotimi Odunoya Akeredolu, and one of the resolved resolutions that I've made with those who are working with me in government is that all the work that he started, we must complete them.
The government has awarded over 55 road projects that are at various stages of construction, and in the 3 senatorial districts of the states.
There's no hold up again, and I believe during the rainy season it will ease the flood that usually comes here.
Some people get sick because of the dust, but now we are enjoying the road.
There is great improvement. When I passed here last, it nearly damaged my car.
Ondo State government promises prompt completion of the ongoing projects in Akure. Tony Batire, NTN News.
And still staying with Ondo State, we have Paul Omukago standing by to tell us more on this development. Hello, Paul. Tell us more on the state's government's effort at enhancing infrastructure in the states.
The whole plan is to ensure that Ondo State, particularly the capital city, Akure, looks quite inviting, and of course it's just to ensure that the right aesthetics is seen all over the place. The ambience is quite good, and is to also encourage socio-economic activity thriving without any kind of hindrance. Virtually all the major roads are linked and properly tarred, and government is bent on ensuring that all the outstanding road projects are completed, particularly for the ones that are within major towns, and there is a 3 months period for completion of most of these roads. Like where we are right now is off the Ilesha Owo Road, and we are by the side of the Oyorimbolom Chagari Irese flyover project. This is one of the projects that the governor is so very much concerned about. He believes that the completion of this project will help in the movement of goods and services freely in and out of the capital city.
Okay, talking about the residents, from the earlier report we took, it says that the residents of Ondo State are in for a good time. How are they feeling, about this rehabilitation and of the construction of new roads in the state?
Okay, for residents, particularly here in Akure, they are happy that Governor Lucky Aye Datiwa is actually continuing from where his predecessor stopped. They are also very happy that most of the roads are being given priority attention ahead of the next rainy season. So they believe that the projects will also impact on them, particularly for those of them who are on their own. I'm talking about entrepreneurs. They believe that the completion of these roads will further boost their businesses.
All right, thank you very much, Paul, for that update. It is 8 months into the life of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's presidency, and the assessment from the media is putting the administration's scorecard on a positive trajectory. Now, the Independent Media and Policy Initiative is taking the lead in the recent projection of what could be termed as renewed hope philosophy in progress. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga reports.
It wasn't a cheerful beginning after the takeoff of Tinubu's presidency on May 29, 2023, owing to impact of COVID-19, Russian-Ukraine war, and declining fortunes of global economic index. But 8 months after inauguration of a popular government, the turns were navigated by one who sits on the driver's seat through experience and expertise in stabilizing the economic frontiers.
In the short run, will things be difficult? Yes. But in the medium to long run, would we be able to discover the appropriate pricing for exchange rates for Naira and other convertible currency? Yes.
The body, led by its chairman, Nii Akinsinju, says Tinubu's presidency has consistently deployed strategies in winning the war against economy, security, and political sabotage, and shaping the nation's destiny in line with the vision of its founding fathers.
In the last 8 months, we can objectively submit that the administration has performed creditably well, despite the enormous institutional, economic headwinds and domestic challenges it has had to contend with.
The Independent Media and Policy Initiative commenced the removal of fuel subsidy, transportation intervention initiative, and other palliative measures to cushion the economic hardship.
Our Lagos Network Center is our first stop on Nationwide today, and Adiola will be giving us latest from that axis. Hello, Adiola. Good to see you.
Hello, Ifoma. Welcome to Lagos. To ensure peace and tranquility during and after the by-election in Surulere Federal Constituency 1, candidates of political parties contesting have signed a peace accord at the Lagos State Police Command Ikeja, where they pledged their readiness to eschew violence and also accept the outcome of the election. Nwabufo Nwonye has the details.
The Commissioner of Police Lagos State Command, Fayode Adegoke, in a town hall meeting with candidates for Surulere 1 by-election and other stakeholders from INEC, Lagos State Interparty Advisory Council, among others, assured of the command's preparedness to provide adequate security for free, fair, and credible election come February 3rd, 2024.
And I'm assuring you that it's going to be very free. There will be no violence, there will be no intimidation. We will not give room for any talks to, infiltrate the constituency where the election is taking place.
He enjoined the candidates of political parties in attendance, including APC, PDP, LP, YPP, and NNPP, to comply with the electoral laws, after which, in their consensus, they signed peace accord to achieve seamless by-election.
Well, I am tremendously, happy with this signing of a peace accord. It goes a long way, to let everybody know that Saturday's election is going to be free and fair, and it's going to be violent-free.
We know that we're entering a race where there will be winners and there will be losers. But it is only fair that they should not be partial.
We only remind our people what we always tell them normally and what we are built of, to ensure that we have a peaceful election. And that's what we're going to have from our own part.
We also plead
on how the collation center is going to be okay for us, because we are facing a lot of things when the election comes in.
The by-election in Surulere 1 federal constituency will be conducted to replace Femi Gbajabiamila, who is now the chief of staff to the president. In Lagos, Mwabu Fongwoye, NTA News.
Lagosians, especially civil servants, are now being bombarded with unsolicited text messages from loan companies that are desperate to get clients for their services. Joel Pukwola reports that many respondents have expressed concern on the easy access of their sensitive data from companies.
The preponderance of loan companies has led to an unhealthy competition, with many so desperate that they breach the privacy of prospective customers. Representatives of these loan companies, armed with relevant personal details, use various tactics to persuade salary earners to obtain loans without explaining the terms and conditions.
The problem is, how do they get these numbers to send in bulk SMS? It's either through the NCC or there's somewhere they need to, government need to find the route of how they get these things.
First thing, did you apply for it? Belief is ignorance. That is, people don't have knowledge. Another point is greediness. Because people are greedy, they are not ready to do anything. Any small thing, they fall for it.
Considering the nefarious activities of some companies, data protection is germane, and experts have urged Nigerians to guard their data jealously.
Well, on the issue of data protection, Nigeria as a country, we need to invest heavily in IT infrastructure. As individuals, we all have our responsibility. We are in the digital world. You must know what is happening.
While Nigerians are expected to be careful in their transactions with loan companies, stakeholders are calling for sanctions against those infringing on the privacy of workers through unsolicited messages. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos. There will be more news on Nationwide with Felicia in our Just Network Center after this time out. To stay.
You're still on to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Welcome to JOS. We begin with issues of security, as Plateau government says it will sustain fight against insecurity until normalcy is restored to the state. Governor Caleb Mutfwang stated this in JOS while presenting newly procured security vehicles for surveillance at the grassroots. Grace Akwegoti has.
This is part of the contribution of the Local Government Transition Committee Chairman to assist the state and federal government in fighting criminal elements that are terrorizing the states. Governor Mutfwang expressed appreciation to the local government chairman for making judicious use of limited resources at their disposal to tackle one of the most pressing needs of the states, which is security. The governor explained that these initiatives will strengthen the security architecture at the local government level, as he assures people of the state that the state government will also come up with its support that will enhance the operations of security forces in the state.
We have always believed that security is a local issue, and therefore, if we get it right at the local base, we can get it right across the whole state.
Now for local government and chieftaincy affairs, Ephraim Usman says the idea is a joint contribution of the ministry and the local government authorities.
It will enable the state to be able to curtail some security issues in an event where there is an emergency. And that's, by the grace of God, we want to believe this will checkmate so many places that securities cannot be able to move into our nook and crannies in the state.
In JOS, Grace Akwegoti, NTA News.
Towards sanitizing the education sector to meet up with standard best practices, Plateau State Ministry of Education has sealed 9 private schools in Jos North local government area for illegal operations. This was during an inspection and verification by the State Ministry of Education.
Inspecting some private schools within Jos North, the Commissioner for Education Secondary expressed displeasure over the poor standard of operation by some of the schools. During the verification exercise, letters of permission for establishing a school, registration, annual renewal receipt, and license of operation by the State Internal Revenue Services were required as criteria for standard operations. For those without requirements, the Commissioner directed that such schools be sealed until due process is followed. He emphasized that this has become necessary as Governor Caleb Mutfwang is committed to revamping the education sector by providing quality education.
We crack down on individuals that open schools in residential houses. It's risky, it's not to the expectation of the ministry, and is bringing down the standard of education. Therefore, this we have done as a warning. This should serve as a deterrent to those people that are operating in the residential house.
Representative of private schools proprietors and chairman, Jos North National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, says the exercise by the State Ministry of Education will go a long way in sanitizing the education system.
If school proprietors can work hard to address some of these challenges we saw on the field, I think children will be better.
The verification exercise will be carried out in all the 17 local government areas of the state. Those are the stories from here. Ifeoma is back to you in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Very much, Felicia. Now, the federal government has assured Nigerians of its commitment to revive socio-economic activities through effective rehabilitation of roads across the country. The assurance was given by head of the monitoring team of a program, Connect Your Destination, covering Jigawa, Yobe and Maiduguri in the northern parts of the country. Ibrahim Sani has more.
We thank the farmer and Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is very important to Nigerian people.
Potholes and other bolts or roads constitute major concern to road users as it accounts for many road crashes in the country. Operation Connect Your Destination, a national program under the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, is designed to check and repair the road irregularities. The Hadeja Gamer Road linking Jigawa, Bauchi and Yobe states, covering more than 22 kilometers, are among the federal roads benefiting from the program in Jigawa State.
December, end of year, is a time where a lot of Nigerians travel. So he brought this initiation just for us to take care of our roads and make people traveling to connect to their destinations easily.
Right now we are in Hadeja Gamayan route. We are working along this road in order to fix all the failed sections.
The agency, however, renewed commitment to partner with relevant stakeholders to address critical issues on some of the major roads across the country to facilitate smooth vehicular movement and promote economic growth. From Dutse, Ibrahim Sani, NTA News.
Let's now join Ibrahim Sani live in Dutse to tell us more of the program Connect Your Destination. Now, Ibrahim, if you can hear me, we understand that some other failed portions of the roads require complete, reconstruction to connect major markets in the area and to further boost commercial transaction of agricultural commodities. Give us an insight into the road conditions in the affected area.
Good evening. Actually, this program undertaken by the Federal Road Maintenance Agency is designed to ensure that motorists flying this road reach their destination easily without passing through any difficulty. Of course, there are some critical areas that need, urgent intervention of key ministries, particularly the Federal Ministry of Works, to ensure that these roads are fixed and allow, or rather give opportunity for motorists to reach their destination easily. However, as attested by stakeholders, or in particular FEMA, lack of funds is affecting the completion of this exercise.
Okay, I had asked earlier about the roads that needs total reconstruction in the Connect Your Destination program. How are the roads really?
Yeah. Actually, for example, the Kano, Jigawa, Bauchi, Taraba, Gombe road needs total rehabilitation, but it's not the whole section of the road that is destroyed completely. Like the Masaya Bridge, which was affected by flood last year, is among these roads that need total reconstruction. Also, the Gamain, Lincoln, Gombe, Bauchi roads also is part of the roads that need type of reconstruction, because the Pale side cannot be covered by this type of project due to, strength of the project in the area.
So far, how is the work going, the progress of work on the road being rehabilitated? Talking about the roads in Jigawa, Yobe, and Maiduguri, how far so far?
Actually, the program has reached an appreciable stage, with motorists commending both the federal government and the Federal Road Maintenance Agency for effecting this work on a right time, saying that the stitch on time saves 9. They believe that with this type of exercise, the economic areas like Megateri, Sara, Gujungu, among other areas that have problems that hitherto has problem can now be accessed easily. And Jigawa State is one of the states that have interconnectedness with international routes, with countries like Chad and Cameroon, among other countries that are neighbors to Jigawa State. So they are hopeful that with this type of exercise, business activities will boom, and also there are possibilities of more business potentialities to be achieved in Jigawa State with this type of development.
Well, indeed, Ibrahim, a stitch in time saves 9, and I agree with you on that. Thank you very much for that update. And to education now. Basic and secondary education have been upscaled as Yobe State government, through the State Universal Basic Education Board, has handed over instructional materials to 17 local government education secretaries for distribution to schools in their respective areas. The State Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education says the investment is expected to improve teaching and learning processes. Yunusa Suleiman reports from Damaturu.
By Yobe State government with support from development partners, the distribution of the materials stakeholders say is another responsive investment in the basic and secondary education aimed at sustaining the gains recorded in the sector. They also express optimism that if deployed across benefiting schools, the materials can assist in stimulating effective teaching and learning, hence task education secretaries to ensure that the materials get to the right schools and at the right time.
We are not yet where we expect to be there, where we pray to be there, but Yobians are today celebrating the advent of this administration that is concerned about the future of their children.
What His Excellency Alaji Waimala Buni, CON, the Executive Governor of Yobe State, is saying it is not barbaric. You have seen it practically. He is serious on his word.
This material is qualified by the state government to be distributed to primary 1 up to JSS 3.
And for that, I want to assure Yobe State government that these materials that will be given to us, we are going to distribute it to the needy. When I say needy, I mean the schools in operations.
It is expected that the vigor will be sustained in order to realize the dream of reviving the sector for children of school age to have access to quality education in the state. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
The federal government's plan to give good road networks to the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria under the Federal Road Infrastructure Tax Credit Scheme is yielding positive results. The contractor handling the rehabilitation of Umahia Ikwatekpene Road, which has been in a deplorable state for many years, has returned to site, a development which has brought relief to the people. Delight Njikonye, who monitored the road inspection, by the senator representing Abia Central, Austin Akubudu, reports.
Inspecting the level of work done on the ongoing rehabilitation of Umuahia Ikwano Ikotekbeni Road, a critical road funded by NNPC Limited under the Federal Road Infrastructure Tax Credit Scheme, the senator representing Abia Central, Colonel Austin Akobonto, applauded the federal government initiative and pledged his frantic commitment to ensure that the work is completed in record time.
So that we'll see how we can use the instrumentality of the National Assembly to ensure that it doesn't unnecessarily get bogged down, so that whatever facilitations that can generate funds as appropriated through the system that the controller just talked about, we'll do everything to make sure that he stays on site.
The contractor handling the road work, Engineer Hisham Yassin, promised to speed up the pace, but blamed the setbacks they have experienced so far to delay in funding.
The project briefly is about 49 kilometers. It starts from Umuahia and ends at Ikotekbeni. And the starting of the project was very slow at the beginning. We didn't have enough advance to start off the project. And so we took the initiative to at least do some work. We concentrated on concrete works. We did a lot of drains to make sure that the water will be discharged properly and adequately. But then again, the inflation in the country brought another impediment.
Residents who spoke to NTA News expressed joy to have the contractors back to site, but pleaded for the speedy completion of the project before the rains set in.
People are suffering by rainy season time. If they can do anything better for the community, for the road to be motorable by the road or the rainy season time, it will be better for us. Whereby they don't do it, it will affect us more.
We thank God that the contractors are back to site. The road has been delayed, so we are pleading to federal government to assist them, fund them. Now that they are back to site, we expect to see the same speed, dedication and commitment with which they did the stretch from Ndoru to Okwe.
The single carriage road, when completed, will ease traffic jam and enhance the socio-economic status of Umuahia Ikwano communities. In Umuahia, Delight Njinkonye, NTA News.
Our Enugu Network Center is next on our lineup on Nationwide with Chinenye as our guide. Hello, Chinenye.
Thank you so much, Ifoma. Welcome to Enugu. Enugu State government is to strengthen its relationship with various security agencies to rid the state of criminal elements and to build the confidence of foreign investors. Chika Ugu reports that Governor Peter Mba reassured the new state controller of immigration and the commandant, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, who were on a familiarization visit.
Governor, who believes that no business thrives in an insecure environment, reiterated that his administration has zero tolerance for vandalism and insecurity, reason the state government is partnering closely with security agencies to enhance smooth operations.
Ours is also to ensure that Enugu State sustains its preeminent position in the affairs of the committee of the states in the country.
State Comptroller of Immigration briefed on series of reforms in passport issuance and migration management, promised that the command will continue to operate within the ambit of the law to check activities of illegal migrants, while the NSCDC commander assured of safety in synergy with other sister security agencies.
The Nigerian Immigration Service, as you already know, is one of the relevant security agencies charged with the statutory responsibilities of ensuring the security and socio-economic stability of Nigeria.
Right. The directive of my Commander General, Dr. Ahmed Abubakar, Yemen RFR, to pay my all-around commitment to the security and safety of this state under your able watch, and also pledge to contribute my quota in the improvement of the security and protection of critical national infrastructure within the state.
The security agents promised to leverage on the state government's efforts of making Enugu State the safest in Nigeria. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
Gender-based violence could be reduced in Nigeria if the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law is fully implemented in all states. Susan Eze reports that though this law has been domesticated in Enugu State, key players lament the poor implementation of the law in the state.
Globally, sexual and gender-based violence is a serious violation of human rights that has severe physical, psychological, and social impact on victims and the society. A UNICEF report in 2020 shows that over 90% of reported rape cases were females and 99% of perpetrators male. However, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law, among other innovations, recognizes that all genders are susceptible to sexual assault and has made provisions for the protection of all. The Act has also made provisions for the compensation of survivors.
The State Justice Reform Team is working really hard to ensure that these provisions are being implemented.
Much as the domestication of the VAP law in Enugu State since 2019 has provided an equitable legal framework under which offenders can be convicted, stakeholders lament poor implementation of the law in the state, citing cultural and religious beliefs as well as lack of funds as some of the setbacks.
It's one thing to come up with a policy, make a bill, turn it into a right. It's another thing to get the stakeholders to implement.
So one of the things we need to do as a state is for everybody to begin to speak out, the state to begin to appropriate the right funds to the right quarters, and then the GBV committee to reinforce themselves. The government should make it mandatory that any such cases coming must be charged under the capital.
Key players also advocate providing technical and funding support for multi-sectoral coordination of efforts towards addressing hindrances to full implementation of the VAP law. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. Do not forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at www.nta.ng/live and on all our social media handles displayed on your screen for update.
It now continues in Maiduguri. Newly posted theatre commander joined Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai. Major General Waidu Shaibu says new and robust strategies will be injected into the ongoing counter-insurgency operations, especially tackling the resurgence of IED explosions in Borno State. The new theatre commander stated this shortly after taking over from the outgoing theatre commander, Major General Gold Chibuese. Memuna Garba completes the story.
Deployment of new theatre commanders has been a routine activity of the military, and the posting of Major General Waidi Shaibu came at a time when the military is intensifying its clearance and mop-up operations to rid the theatre of terrorist activities. Having served in the theatre before as GOC 7 Division, General Waidi is conversant with the terrain and nature of the operations, hence expected to build on the successes so far recorded.
We will just go ahead with the mandate, their ongoing operations. We will enhance it and ensure that officers and men do what they are supposed to do.
The new theatre commander said he will ensure that all enclaves of remnants of the terrorists are destroyed, just as the frontline troops will be motivated to put in their best. The outgoing theatre commander, Major General Gold Chibusi, appreciated troops' doggedness and the effective collaboration with Borno State government and the citizenry in the non-kinetic operations that led to the continuous mass surrendering of terrorists.
I therefore reiterate the need for us to continue operating in a professional manner in accordance with our rules of engagement at all times. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Will you do that? Yes, sir. Are you happy? Happy.
General Gold urged troops to maintain the tempo for sustainable peace in the region. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
Away from that now to tell you that Every individual has a role to play was the focus for a social reorientation program aimed at restoring peace and harmony in Borno State. This was emphasized during a town hall meeting organized by the Borno State Ministry of Information and Internal Security in partnership with the Peace Ambassador Center for Humanitarian and Empowerment, involving stakeholders of Gomboru area of the metropolis. Here is Pauline Kujevana with the rest of the story.
The town hall meeting centered on reintegration and sustainable peace by addressing issues and devising strategies to bring back Borno's past glory as the home of peace. Hence, the active participation of the stakeholders in discussion. Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Professor Usman Tar, mentioned that this marks the third town hall meeting organized as part of a social reorientation program to restore peace and harmony in the states spanning over a decade of insurgency.
The government and our partners believe that if we engage constructively with our citizens, stakeholders, our community leaders, our traditional leaders, in the form of town hall meetings, we will solve our problems.
That's the only way for us we can have peace, by dialogue and by listening to people and by creating an enabling environment for honest conversation.
Special Advisor to Governor Zulum on Humanitarian Affairs and Sustainable Development, Dr. Meiro Mandara, highlighted the crucial role peace plays as a building block for infrastructural development, social amenities, and good governance.
So whatever these people give us is what will be collated and be used by the government to foster peace.
There was a drama presentation and panel discussion where critical issues were raised and strategic solutions and recommendations also proposed to restore peace in the state. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
Let's now return to Ifoma in Abuja.
Shui, thank you for watching. I am Ifoma Ojinta. Bye for now.